Welcome to Spirit Talk Live. We are live on Facebook under any page you want to pick. Divine Healing and Love, Divine Discussions, Divine Medium, Divine Crystal Cove, Divine Medium Crystal Cove. That's our crystal page, so if you want to join that page. But today we're going to talk the Knights Templar, and we're going to kind of review first the Angel of the Month, which is Angel Hamel, and kind of just review him. We are in a time of manifesting and harvesting. And he is the angel of harvesting and logic and, sorry, my computer keeps going off here. And he kind of clears the mind for new ideas, new inventions, new creativity. So if you just started a project, you want to come up with some new business ideas or change route with your career or your love strategy, this is the time to do it. It's a great time to manifest. Our stones of the day, I was going to pick one, but I ended up picking two, is Amazonite and fluorite. And the reason I picked both of these is because Amazonite opens up your heart and your throat chakra. And fluorite helps you focus in on that communication. So the bundle of them together are going to be a powerhouse for you to communicate in a loving way instead of an anchored sense. So it does give you kind of a type of intake with what you're trying to convey to somebody else, okay? So those are the two crystals that I would suggest trying out for the new harvest. It's going to open up communication to your guides, your creative angels, and it's going to give you this powerhouse of manifesting what you really, really want. Okay, so we are going to go over the Knights Templar. And I have a bunch of questions here from Yvonne. So let's see what her first question is. Were the Knights Templar in possession of John the Baptist's head, and was that their patron saint? Okay, so tonight I want to kind of put out that we're going to be talking to Barnabas. He is the apostle that kind of started the Knights Templar. We talked to him last week. And we're going to be pulling in John the Baptist as well, because I really can't answer these questions unless I have both of those spirits with us tonight, okay? So I'm going to start pulling them two in. Okay. The Knights Templar in possession of John the Baptist's head, that is correct. They're kind of reminding me that John the Baptist's head was severed and presented on a plate, which is horrific to me to actually see right now in my mind. And here's what I don't think was documented. That severed actually presented in a way that's not a shrine, but, okay, let's say, for example, we have dinosaurs that were dug up, their bones were dug up, and we have them in a museum. Okay, his head being on a platter, from what I'm gathering, is there was a female that had done this. She wanted his head severed, and also on top of that, she wanted to keep it as a, what do you want to call, souvenir, okay? So the Knights at that time were able to obtain that. They were around him at that time, so they were able to steal it, in so many words, and be able to get into the area where it was at, because obviously back then they didn't have a whole lot of security. I mean, they didn't have like policing, things like that, so it was easy to steal from one another. Let's see what the next question is. Was the head really possessed and could speak? Okay, so I get what she's talking about. Was the head really, okay, so I guess in one of these books that we talk about the Knights Templar, they speak of his head speaking and being enchanted with a speaking modality. So here's what I'm going to explain with that. Okay, do you ever see out of the corner of your eye, like, okay, here's a better idea. Okay, you go to a funeral, and you stare at the coffin, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, are they breathing? Your eyes almost play tricks on you. So I think this is what kind of was going on. I think the communication was coming, how he's talking to me right now through the mind. And because when he stands before me, he's not moving any any physical features in his face. His communication's through the mind. So I think the more you stared at it, it's kind of like a person in a coffin. The more you stare at it, you think the mouth is moving. It really isn't. Okay, so I think that is exactly what they thought going on. They thought he was actually speaking his mouth. It really wasn't. So I'm going to continue with John the Baptist since we already have him. I don't know how long I'll have him, so let's kind of get him speaking about certain things. Okay, so what kind of person was he? What kind of characteristic, John, do you want to portray? Okay, he describes himself as laid back but stern. In the modern times here, he would probably have been your manly man that liked to fish and hunt and that kind of thing. Okay, he's correcting me. He said not so much hunting, but the laid back fishing, being around water, manly man. Very protective, very stern. Could be stubborn unless he had the right person show him a different way. He believed in helping humanity in any way he could. He would consider himself to be one of our hippie tribe members. He would have been very open to discussing spirituality. But he knew what he knew, and he portrayed it the best way he could. So there was no swaying him back or forth with what he knew. He knew he was getting it from spirit, kind of like somebody that channels or somebody that gets communication. Okay, what was Jesus like in his eyes? Okay, do you want to take it from around birth, or do you want to do it? Okay, he's known Jesus in earlier years. It wasn't like he just showed up at this creek and John had this epiphany that it was him. He had an epiphany because he hadn't seen his friend in a long time. So it was kind of like, oh, wow, you're here. That's so awesome. I haven't seen you in a while. But they did have very similar training together. They were trained by a group of very underground spiritualists. Their tactics in training and learning weren't accepted fully by society. But he described Jesus as very quiet, not so much shy, but he more was observant and quiet. And he's very extremely knowledgeable. Even the teachers that taught him were kind of taken back by all the things he knew. John said he really enjoyed being around him. He always had something new to teach him or tell him. He was very connected to the divine. He didn't believe in wasting his time. He I wouldn't say so much dived into his studies, but he definitely was in a state of meditating a lot, almost like maybe he had ADHD, not the hyper part of it, but the more of the side of it that was kind of like he wasn't focusing very well. That he was kind of off in lullaby, is how he's saying it. He was very meditative. You didn't hear him raise his voice. Again, he's going back to his quiet demeanor. And when he did speak, you did kind of lean in and you got almost like hooked to what he had to say and what he wanted to convey. That's kind of comical. I don't even know how to approach that. But he said he was very charming and good looking. He probably could have dated any young lady at the time. John, hey. He said, well, you wanted to know. It's cracking me up. It's making me blush a little bit here, but okay. Now, see, I remember John, and he wasn't like this fun type person. He's always very serious because he knew his job and what he had to do. So it's kind of different for me to kind of have him approach me in this way. It's kind of comical. But I like it, John. It's fine. But yes, he's going back to Jesus' studies, studied a lot. He was very inquisitive, even though he had this huge wealth of knowledge himself that he came here with. He still strived to understand humanity and how they thought, how they worked, and how they did certain things. That he really wanted to understand all of that. I mean, that is one of the reasons why he decided to come here from his planet Orion, is to understand what humanity was like and why would people come here. And I mean, he got the full effect and got to deal with things that we similarly do now. I mean, not so much with electronics and the kids the way they are, but you get my point. Okay. What was his character? Okay, so we went over that. Did he have a family, wife, or children? Okay, John, time to divulge. Okay, so he said he didn't have enough time to, in his words, search for a dame, if you will. He's very focused on his work, on what he was supposed to do. So no, he's saying no children, no wife. He said there was a dark-haired female that he was fond of, but he never took it to the level of a relationship in an intimate way. It was more of, I'm fond of you, you're fond of me, and we respect each other in this way. She's actually really pretty. She almost looks Greek, maybe? Like her features in her face sort of look Greek, but she has really long, wavy brown hair. She keeps showing me her hands, so she did work hard with her hands. So I'm guessing that she was not of money, but worked hard to live where she's at. She was very close with her father, and from what I'm gathering, she helped him with things, and this is why her hands were so worn and torn like they were. Okay, so she goes by the name Marguerite. If she were to pick a human formation of their names back then, which I guess would have been Margaret, she's going more of a formal Marguerite. Or Great, if you want to shorten it. Okay. She kind of pulled away, so I'm left with Sean again. Okay, so let me ask, what was his favorite teachings? And he just chuckled and said, do you have 5 hours? Okay, so can you give me maybe 1 or 2? The growth of humanity is kind of like a flower. You see it from the seedlings growing into a beautiful, vibrant, ambient silhouette of its own self. Humanity's in this sense, but at the state that we're in now, it's coming into a communication of what we're doing to Earth now. He says it quickly wilters. It doesn't say lit. In his words, it doesn't say lit. Lit to me, his formation would be alive. He says it doesn't stay lit or vibrant with life for very long here. So he's correlating humanity. Humanity comes in and at a certain age, instead of like being full of life and vibrant till your age like 300, because back then they would live for a long time. well, before his time, they would live very, very long. Nowadays, most humans are not even making it past 50 or 40. And he sees this as very sad because you're letting the flower wilter, and you're allowing things and people wilter it in the process. So this is one of his biggest strong points. If he were to convey a message from his time to our time, that we should really strive to flourish our inner flower, our life source, our divine, and not let other things filter it in the process and allow others to take away that divine flourishing, in so many words. Okay, wait, he has one more. I got him on a roll. Now he wants to. He said he liked being in water, and there was a reason for it. He felt at one with source because if you notice on the bottom of creeks, there's rocks and there's mud. And through life, we have, and I'm sure you guys have gone through through creeks, and you step on those rocks and you hurt your feet, and then you step on the nice soft sandy mud and it's soft and it's cushy. He kind of correlates that to life right now, where when we step with our feet in the water, because the water just keeps going. You can't stop water flowing. So you just have to keep going, whether the rocks are hard on your feet or the sand is soft on your feet. So you have the good times and the bad times. So he was trying to show me this picture, and now I'm thinking I'm getting the correlation of what he's trying to say there. So it's really, really cool what he's doing right now. So he's basically saying, when you're in water, aka when you're in life, you're going to hit rocks on your feet that hurt. You're going to hit tough things in your life that hurt. And then you're going to touch soft sand. And when you touch soft sand in life, those are the good times to remember. And you have to have the yin and yang of both, or you don't really appreciate the soft sand in the end. So I get what he's saying there. That's a really cool, and I appreciate that, John, for giving that message. Okay. So let's go back to the other stuff here. Was there really a veil of Veronica which was said to have the image of Jesus? Okay, let me talk to Barnabas about this. John said he'll stay till the end if anybody has any questions. So he's going to kind of stand or linger, if you will, around. Okay, so he shows me a young lady with dirty blonde hair. It's not so much really, really blonde. It's more of like the dirty, browny, blondie looking color. It's not more on the straight wavy, not super curly. And it only goes down to the middle of her back. She has a what do you want to call it? A shroud or a covering over her face. And when I see her standing in this pathway of rocks, dirt, things, there's people shouting, they're being mean, and they're spitting, and they're doing all this stuff. She pulls this thing from her face to reveal her face, which she swore in her life she would never reveal her true face unless it was to her husband. She revealed her face to Jesus to show a respect of, I know who you are, and I can show my true self to you because I know who I am. So yes, she's coming forth saying, I did this in memory of him. I did this to show it. She actually didn't think she was going to get any kind of anything on it. She just, when you wipe your face and you're bleeding, you just get blood. You don't get a feature. But because she did this, he did this himself. He magically, I don't know what you want to call it, magically put an imprint on there to kind of put a gift to her of, won't forget me. I know you, and you now know me because I'm leaving my imprint of my face on this veil. And that's how we got the veil. Why did Pope Clement betray them? Okay, Barnabas is kind of showing me a man that stomps his feet. He's somewhat overweight. I've seen him kind of stuffing his face with like pheasants, or I can't make out whatever that chicken is. I'm just going to go with chicken, but it might be a pheasant. Just kicked my chair. He doesn't, at the time, he did not like this man. This man was out for himself, wasn't to help others. He was the epitome of glutton and laziness. And he said because this man didn't get what he wanted, he, well, in so many words, went against them. Okay. They say Malays.
Yes.
Malays. Last Grand Templar. Okay. They say Malay, the last Grand Templar. Grand Templar. Okay. Last words were that of a powerful curse aimed at Philip and the Pope. Both men were within a year dead. Did this curse really happen? Is basically what I'm getting. Okay, so Barnabas is explaining the power of the mind right now. Okay, he's using an example of, let's say, for example, and you've heard this often, and that's why he's using this as an example. You have heard before when a child is trapped under a car, the mother somehow gets this energy about her and she can pick up the car, like that, 50 men couldn't pick up or whatever. He's saying the manifestations of your mind have the same kind of energy, that your mind has the power, if willed, and the energy is at the right peak and the right vibration and the right frequency, can manifest what you want it to. Now, Malay now knows on the other side that this was not something he should have done, but it wasn't his soul contract to learn from, as well as the others involved. So he is showing me that he powerfully manifested something, and at a peak of energy that most strive even now to the stage to accomplish. And yes, he was able to powerfully create this energy and shorten a timeline, which he now is understanding that he shouldn't have done. So they are all going to actually repeat that learning in a sense. So what you do here counts. So watch how you think and watch how you treat people. Because if you don't learn correctly, you will return, okay, and you will learn from it. Is the Rensington Ruin Stone in Minnesota marked by the Templars? Are you asking if the Newport Tower in Rhode Island as well? Okay, Newport Tower in Rhode Island. Okay, I got it. It's not marked by them. I'm saying that marking was marked by somebody else. It's making people think it was marked by them. So I don't know if you can read out more on that. Let's see if we get. Who do they think? Who else? Somebody thinks. Okay, yeah. Because he's saying those markings are not of us. What is the matrix map? What's its purpose? Do they say anything about high vibrational grid lines? High vibrational, because that's how he's worded. Yes. High vibrational grid lines. He marks them in like a blue.
Yes, that's what they are.
Okay, are they blue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He goes destination.
That's what they say in the book.
Okay.
Yes,
It's to find things. It's a mapping.
areas.
And some of these areas are actually really high vibrational than others. I do see a skull. There's a skull, and it's made of crystal. Crystal that looks like a skull. And it's, I want to say, no, it's too big. I want to say maybe like that big.
Yes, big.
It's not like a human one. It's just maybe smaller than a human.
Right.
Okay. You want to ask anything on that one? Thank you.
Oh. What about the tower? We didn't have to.
Oh, the Newport Tower. So you want to know if there's a,
inspired us.
so are you asking if there's a marking on it or if it's inspired?
Period. The building itself.
Okay. Inspired, yes. So will be our last question on the iHeartRadio show. Inspired, yes. Just like the Bible was inspired. And he's saying divinely inspired by us on the other side. Keep remembering where Jesus came from in the Quirrell, which would be Mary Magdalene. It's a constant, and it's not going to stop there. There's other things that are going to start coming up. That this is a reminder, this is a reminder, this is a reminder. Keep coming back to Jesus. Back. It always comes back to him or something similar to everything that they mark. Like there's things that are going to be starting to show up within the night. Okay, guys, that's our show for tonight. Find us on thedivinemeeting.com and grab some crystals and metaphysical candles and sages and incense from the website crystalcovespa.com. And don't miss any episodes. We do charm readings now live and charm reading recordings for you guys on YouTube. The Divine Medium, Christina K on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the bell. Don't miss a charm reading that you can get every week. So that is it, guys, and have a blessed night and enjoy the harvest of this month. And next month, who knows what we'll get into. Maybe we'll talk to John the Baptist again. But I really enjoyed the show, and I hope to see you guys again. And to my iHeartRadio show, people, love you guys. Hope you follow for next week. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.